Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Happy April 10th show. We're ready to rock and roll on a Monday. Hope your weekend was good, your Easter weekend. I'm Vic Faust with Tabitha Hassel, Eric Johnson coming in. Lizzie Sparks in the studio running all that social media, your comments. Plus, we got Scotty Gherkin, engineer, producer, taking care of business, making us look and sound as good as we can. All right, we are packed. Monday's always a packed show, as you know. By the way, coming up Friday is our AI show, and if Alex bags out, Alex is no longer a part of this show. We're doing AI Friday.
You hear that, Alex?
Not for the third time. There's no way in hell. Anyway, we had a terrific Friday show as well. And that, believe it or not, that episode that Alex went out and promoted, getting a lot of play when we did the Good Friday miracles and the Shroud of Turin. That is, it's been seen, I don't know, thousands and thousands of times already. Thousands of times. That was a huge topic. And we appreciate everybody. It made sense for the day. All right. Coming up today, real quick, China, Taiwan, United States. Tabitha will jump into that. Missouri, about ready to break a record for marijuana sales. I'm not kidding. They're about right. Missouri, of all the states that have gone legal.
Bunch of potheads.
Missouri, ready to rock and roll that. We'll get into that story.
Woohoo!
That's good news for maybe a business venture with Scotty Gherkin over there on the side. That's really, really cool. Michael Jordan says no to Disney and $120 million. Again, proving why he's the greatest basketball player ever on and off the court. LeBron. Sorry, buddy. What else do we have on that list to talk about? What else? Oh, we're going to show you some Trump videos from the weekend. Awesome. If you don't think there's support for Donald Trump, I'm sorry. From kids at a wrestling tournament to the UFC, it's awesome. Plus, don't you feel like the Dalai Lama guys always gets a pass like, oh, the Dalai Lama is so great. Stars want to hang out with the Dalai Lama. I just want to meditate and sit. The Dalai Lama is the best thing. Just wait till you see a video of him and a little kid, a little boy. You can't make this stuff up, Joe Biden. Anyway, that's just some of the stuff we're getting to. It's all coming up. What did you talk about a plan? Was this, Tabitha, you sent something this morning? Did this have to do with the strategic plan that was released last week that I brought up? Or you sent something
The classified documents?
Is this last
No,
week?
it's not part of the.
So we had our strategic plan on Ukraine, Russia released last week, plus something else now?
There were two sets of leaked documents, and some of them have been modified. Some of them you can find the original, and the documents, just leaked a few Thursday.
Last Thursday. Yeah, that's what I talked about Friday.
Yes, and so there have been two sets of leaked documents, and you know what's so wild about it? And we didn't even tell the full story when we got into it on Friday. Is that these are top secret classified documents?
Oh, is that it?
They were photographed. So someone photographed these top secret documents and leaked them, and they've been all over Telegram, and the government didn't even know until the Post wrote an article about it on Friday.
All right, we'll get into it all.
Idea.
It's all part of cancelthisshow.com. Stick around, share, like, subscribe. You can send stars as well. You can donate, cancelthisshow.com. Here's a look at our partners, and if you have a chance, you can jump in with those partners if you need any of the products that they're offering. Back in 2 minutes right after this.
This is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car, hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services, Check them out at cancelthisshow.com.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Carroll House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
And we hit it this morning with that awesome music. Scotty, I thanked you in the beginning, but that music, I love it when we kick off. That is courtesy of Scotty Gurkin. You found that, didn't you?
I didn't write it or anything. I just found it.
we're giving you credit.
I did choose it, but the chosen one.
I love it. Scotty Gurkin there. Eric Johnson on his way. Lizzie Sparks here. Lizzie, how was your weekend? You spent it with your granddaughter?
I did, but most of the weekend we were in Chicago for another volleyball tournament.
Did you hear any bullets?
No, surprisingly
Gunshots?
not. No, but
Prison
my
violence?
daughter says that she couldn't wait to get back to Missouri because she was tired of the weird maskers.
I think that question, did you hear any shots, is going to replace the St. Louis question of where'd you go to high school?
Did you get shot?
Maskers everywhere in Chicago?
Everywhere.
Oh
Everywhere.
my God, the sky is falling.
Yes.
And they're still here in the St. Louis area.
Tabitha Hassel, how are you doing? Let me guess. You baked a ham over the weekend.
I baked the ham and I rotisseried a turkey.
Mm.
A turkey breast, that is.
Okay.
That
I was
sounds
a
good.
very busy little Easter cooker yesterday.
Easter cooker.
All right. And I'm Vic Faust, Tabitha Hassel. Appreciate you guys jumping in today. Share the show. Lots to get to. It was a big weekend when it came to the Easter holiday weekend because, too, you had the UFC over the weekend. Big fight. Lots of guys of names that were fighting. Scotty, if you can show some of the video, we got 2 clips of just video of Donald Trump showing up at UFC, getting standing ovations, people clapping, people cheering, people ready to rock for Donald Trump. We're going to be showing you that video when Scotty pops it up because we're talking over it. I mean, you just see the Donald walking in. I mean, he's getting Mike Tyson. Oh yeah. But there is no superstar like Donald Trump walking the planet right now. There just isn't. That was at the UFC in Miami, Florida. We've got another video of him walking in. It's a different angle. That's Trump. You would think he just won the biggest fight ever by the cheers, the claps, the ovation. The Donald Trump. Okay. Also, everybody was getting excited about that when you saw that. You have the other thing going on. I want to show you this other shot. When the fight ended for Jorge Masvidal, he was a great fighter. He lost the other night. He retired. But after the fight, Jorge Masvidal, as you'll see in a second, he didn't want to really talk about himself. He wanted to talk about Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, which was awesome. Here's Jorge Masvidal.
Greatest president in the history of the world, sitting right there. I love that guy. We also got the greatest governor of all time here in Florida. Let's keep Florida free, a red state, and let's take that. You know who? Let's go brand that motherfucker out of power and replace him. If I could get it just one time. Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! I'm out, y'all. 305 for life. Miami making loud for Jorge Masvidal.
Joe Rogan finishing that off as well. I mean, isn't that great? That freaking is awesome.
That's where we need to be ballot harvesting. Now, why hasn't any Republican come up with that idea? Set up a polling station right outside of that place.
That, you know what? What a great idea.
That's a great idea.
we suck at ballot harvesting. Why can't we do better? Why not have one of these fights right on election day and get people the votes on that day?
Good idea.
This is one of my favorite pictures as well from that night. Scotty already said when you saw Trump walking in, you saw Tyson. But you want to talk about a ring seat with 4 people who are just superstars right now. We're going to pop that picture up for you as well. It's awesome. It's Donald Trump. It's Dana White. It is Mike Tyson and the man of the week last week, Kid Rock, all sitting ringside next to each other at that same UFC fight. There was an energy you heard reporters talk, or we didn't hear, but I was listening to reporters talk about, my God, okay, we got our fights, but the fact that Donald shows up, and then you had Kid Rock and Mike Tyson, and they're all massive Donald Trump supporters. Mike Tyson, by the way, is a Donald Trump supporter, and he has talked extensively about it. He's like, are you kidding me? If you want to talk about business, you want to talk about money, you want to talk about it all. Yeah. Look at that picture. I mean, those guys. Dana White, who created UFC, one of the most successful businessmen in the world right now. Donald Trump, Kid Rock, and Mike Tyson.
It's a great photo.
America.
We should have photoshopped ourselves in there.
We should have.
Oh no, I think it's awesome. I think it's a terrific shot there. Dana White, probably the most Donald and Dana are probably the 2 most successful right there. They're the biggest stars of those guys. Kid Rock was, Mike Tyson was, but Kid Rock got national acclaim last week. Mike Tyson's probably the least star of those 4 right there anyway. Okay. We're having some fun. We're off to a good start on Monday. Tabitha, is there 2 Donald Trump since we were talking about Trump?
I wouldn't be surprised. I've not seen the photos you're talking about, but there very well could be. I mean, everyone else has a body double. You know what? Think about this. We all have someone out there who looks just like us. And I wish I could find my person because then they could fill in
your doppelganger
on Mondays.
Donald Gager.
You know what? That's funny because
we all have one.
Last week, Tabitha texted me. She's like, "Are you in my neighborhood?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
I know. I thought I saw you.
And she's like, "I just saw you drive by eating an ice cream cone." I was like, "No, that was not me. I am not
just like you."
No, I'm not Joe Biden eating the ice cream cones. That is for sure. No, but I saw this over the weekend, and this comes from a conservative site that I follow that said, "Are there 2 Donald Trumps?" Because you've talked about body doubles, and I think
a lot of people use body doubles. It's not unusual. We know Cammie Harris uses one. She was caught. It's a fact. It's not conspiracy. There's no way in a million years that all of those people are Biden.
But it surprised me.
He has at least 2 or 3.
Okay, check out this video that was put together by a guy from TikTok. And are there 2 Donalds? You'll see pictures. There's one Donald. And the other Donald.
They do look different.
I didn't want to lead anybody. Just keep looking at this video that keeps going back and forth. And it seems like they do look different.
They definitely do look different.
One's thinner to me.
Yeah, one is thinner and looks
face shape
more composed.
Trump 2.0 looks thinner to me.
Trump is very jowly. He's has a lot of like discoloration in his face because he self-tans and I don't.
The-
Yeah, I
the,
think
the fake one kind of has an Ozempic face.
It does.
He
it
does.
does.
You know
really,
what?
It does.
I mean, we just keep looking at that video. Okay. Do all four of us think that those are two different people?
Well, okay. First of all, Trump is very tall. Is Kid
Like
Rock
6'2",
tall?
6'3". Kid Rock's at least
Because-
6'1".
Because he was taller than Trump in that photo. Trump is a very tall man.
Yeah, but Trump isn't 20 pounds lighter right now, is he? Or maybe because of weight. Could it be?
His weight does fluctuate. I have seen him lose weight. I've seen him gain weight. And it depends on if these photos are old or are they newer. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's two, because I mean, think about this. If there was anyone who has a target on their head, it is Donald Trump and Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson.
Well, I mean, it was. I just love checking out that video, and of course, we had to show it. I wanted to show it. I thought you'd get a kick out of it, Tabitha, since you've talked about body doubles, and since we had all that
And it's
badass
okay.
video from the UFC over the weekend.
And I want to explain, it's not a negative if he has a body double. That's not a negative thing. The man has a target on his head. I wouldn't blame him for using body doubles.
I'd like a
honestly.
body double.
I would too.
Anybody up for a body double? As long as a body double doesn't talk a lot, because a body double could get you in trouble.
If it looks better than me, I'm in.
Yeah. I think
Just for your guys' sake.
It could get us in.
we'd have to hear the body double talk.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump to me is very unique in the way he talks and his voice. And not to say there isn't anyone that has his voice, but what are the odds of finding somebody who looks just like him and could talk
Right,
like him
talk
and
just
could
like him.
have his voice?
It's all that cloning again. Who's to say the Republicans can't use clones? Come on, Tabitha. It can't just be
I
the
don't think that
Democrats.
Biden is cloned. I just think that they have found somebody who looks close enough like him, like can glue his forehead together and make him look all wrinkly.
According to King Griffey Jr., Kevin Bacon is my body double.
He told you that one day?
I used to walk into the
That's
old.
all, you know what? I can see
I can
that.
see that.
I used to walk in the old Mariners clubhouse, and every time I would, Ken would go, "Kevin Bacon, everybody, Kevin Bacon."
I can see that.
I have no idea how
But
that.
you and I are bigger guys.
Yeah.
If you lost, like what's Kevin Bacon like?
He's a little
160?
skinny.
He's like 160.
Tiny
oh, this
guy.
is back in 2000.
But if you lost
or
like
4.
30 pounds and were like
Yeah.
really like skinny,
super
like
skinny.
because that guy is
Yeah.
way skinny.
Yeah, well, he's
I could totally see that.
he's Skeletor skinny right now.
He's like a little
Ozempic
weight.
bacon.
Ozempic Bacon.
Well, he eats some kind of all natural, like
Yeah.
raw diet or something like that.
Who?
I-
Ken Griffey Jr.
No, bacon.
Oh, Bacon.
ironic.
Well, isn't that ironic?
Yeah, it
He
is.
doesn't eat enough bacon.
Yeah.
I would all
Turkey
be
bacon.
in for a body double. I'm just going to
Mhm.
say that. So if Trump has one, fine. We know Biden has.
It's not the big deal that they have a body double. It's when they
Mhm.
deny it. And whenever they have to use a body, Trump might use a body double, let's say for events.
He doesn't.
But let's just say,
There's
and I'm
no
not
way-
saying he does or
Trump
doesn't.
doesn't have a body.
But he's
double.
not.
He doesn't have a clone.
He's not using his body double to give the State of the Union address. I mean,
No.
that's the difference between the two.
Well, I think Biden's body double is just as dumb as he is because he can't.
Well, they have to be dumb or we wouldn't believe it.
Because he can't come out and give you an interview.
Well,
You would think Leslie Stahl would be able to say, "Hey, use number 2."
well, number 2 was used when he gave his State of the Union.
Yeah, there's no question that
There
was
is
not
no,
the real
that
Biden.
was not
Mm.
the real Joe Biden.
And that comes into trickery. I mean, that's just flat out trickery. You know, but again, going back to the movie Dave, which Scotty always brings up, you know, you go back to the movie Dave, they used a body double because the real president in that case, I believe he was shot, something along those lines. But you know, Biden using a body double to give the State of the Union address, that's just flat out them trying to trick us, trying to pull a sham over us. Trump using a body double to go sign some autographs isn't that big of a deal.
Hey, does anybody have that friend that says, "Yeah, I'll call you when I go somewhere. Yeah, I'll let you know," because they never go, and then sometimes they
I'm
make
that
fun
friend.
of you. Go for no, you call me. Eric went. We're based out of the St. Louis area. We have a national
Mhm.
podcast here. Eric went to a place that Tabitha and I don't know if you've been there recently, but I've been there more. Eric was at a place.
My old Cheers.
And we love to give them credit because I love Napoli. There's Napoli 1, 2, and 3 throughout the St. Louis area. Tony and crew do an amazing job. Eric showed up at Napoli on Saturday night.
I saw that and I'm like, Eric, why didn't
and
you
he
tell us?
did not tell. I live 11 minutes from
Our
there.
favorite place.
No.
And Eric did. Eric's been there with me before to meet.
Does
a
everybody have
listener.
that friend? Maybe it's my.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know.
I was
Man, I
very
offended some
disappointed.
people, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
You
I was
did.
very
Already Monday
disappointed.
morning, you
Eric,
started
what
right
happened?
out.
What happened?
Our
dude?
favorite
It's a
place.
birthday party.
And you
It's a
don't
birthday
tell us.
party, and you know, after every dinner, you have to figure out a place to go for the after dinner birthday party. And we were in Clayton, and Clayton is a home of Napoli, where
Well, I probably saw a couple of our colleagues on the at Napoli. One,
you did.
The always well dressed Brooke Dubman was out there.
Oh,
Did you say hi?
I did not, but I could not stop looking at his jacket. You did a fantastic job, Brooke. I'm serious. And then about 20 minutes later, George Norrie showed up.
That's right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We got super celebrities that hang out there. That's why Tabitha goes there.
Yeah. He was very nice and pretending like he remembered me. I liked that. That was fantastic.
Well, see, I'll be there this next Friday, and you need to stop by again, Eric, and I can introduce you to everybody.
Sure. Absolutely, I'm in.
Okay, did you say hi to George Norrie?
I did. Again, he was.
Did he remember being on the show?
You know what? When you're George Norrie status, you a lot of people coming up can say, "Hey, you remember I met you at a Quick Trip in 2003?" Of course, I remember that. Of course, it was kind of the same thing.
I'd love to talk politics with George sometime. We only talk paranormal with George, but it would be very interesting because I think he would. I think he would do it on the side.
I don't know that he cares about that, but I have been seeing him a lot more in TikToks on some weird stuff. Like the one where he's talking to the archangel as the lady incarnate. Did you ever see that one? And she's answering questions as an angel would. And they're like, oh my God, no human could come up with these answers. This is crazy. So yeah, George is going to become like a billion, view TikTok star here pretty soon, I would imagine. Kind of like Tabitha Hassel with her militant hats and all that stuff.
My militant hats. I own a hat with a disco ball on top of it. I wouldn't exactly call that.
Oh,
militant.
Stop it. Do you really?
I do.
That's how she's going to take out China and
with
Russia
disco ball.
with her disco ball hat. All right. It's Monday. We can't do that yet.
Oh, it is. It's all kinds of fun here. By the way, we'll get into China in the second hour too. We're in the celebrities and talking about stars from the weekend, guys. How about Michael Jordan? He has refused $120 million to do commercials for Disney.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I don't understand the concept because
what they wanted was Disney contacted Mike and his reps. You like Mike, of course. They want to rebrand themselves as a family place to go because guess what? They have gotten hit and hit hard
Yeah, they have.
because of all of their woke crap. Woke backfires if you haven't figured it out yet. It may seem cool and it may seem hip, but if you own a business, you're like, oh, truck.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to do this, but my business is going to get. Mike said, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. He's like, I care about my reputation.
Yeah. Yes.
But he does.
Yes.
There's a new movie out about him right now.
Yes, there
called
is.
Air.
Yep.
And the movie's really more about Nike, but they do talk about how
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Yes, we just started working on it last week, and so the movie's really I can't really get into. I'm not allowed to. Really
we
talk
know
about
the story,
but yeah,
we know the story.
So if you see the movie sometime later on, you will realize the value that he places on the products he endorses, and it's a very interesting film. And knowing about his personality, this doesn't surprise me.
40 years later, he's still the GOAT of face on brand marketing, and that was basically Nike. How much money did they invest in him? I mean, just a huge chunk.
$250,000.
No, way more.
No,
than
it wasn't. I just watched the film.
What year? What year was
it? It was
that?
like back in the.
No,
I don't know.
The 80s.
It was when he was in college.
Yeah.
But then his shoe sales made $162 million.
No, way more. No,
I just watched the movie.
I think your numbers are wrong. That can't be right.
It's in the movie, Eric.
That can't be right.
It's 100. They made $162 million. I will tell you the story without talking about the movie.
Have you seen the movie already?
I have seen it, but I cannot talk about the
on
movie.
a scale of 1 to 10.
I can't. I cannot.
Oh, you're not even allowed to do that.
No, but I will.
Can
tell
you at least explain to people what exactly it is that you do for people? Because we have new listeners
I work in
coming in.
film security.
Okay.
And so I cannot talk about the movie, and so I'm just going to give you some facts. That
I'm
have
be
nothing to
looking
do
this
with the
up
movie.
as
You
soon
can
as
look it up online. That when Michael Jordan was a college student, he got the attention of Nike, somebody who works at Nike, and they ended up paying him $250,000. And then they based everything the company has on him and him becoming successful as a college student, as a college basketball player. But he ended up making, I think in the first run of his shoes, like $162 million off the Air Jordans. Now that's facts anyone could look up. It's not about.
I think you're kind of right, but actually, it's it's $1.3 billion.
Well, then you need to call the filmmakers and tell them they're
Matt Damon. Somebody get Matt Damon on the phone.
In the first year, they sold $126 million.
in
the first year.
Way
according
back in
the
the
day.
sources you're reading, not according to Nike. They sold 162 million.
Say
well, whatever. I mean, it's penny. I mean, we're fighting over semantics.
But I mean, over the years, I'm sure it's been billions of dollars.
So the bottom line is
and
this:
he makes
is that we're in an era.
Sales.
We're in an era right now where Kid Rock takes an AR to a product, and that is awesome.
My name
and you
is
are literally you are finding that first of all, millennials and Gen Zers are not going to drink piss water. They're not going to go out and drink Budweiser. It's not going to happen. The Clydesdales and sexy chicks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s is what sold Budweiser,
Absolutely.
the crappiest beer that has ever existed on this planet. I know you'll agree with me on that.
I talked to a gay friend of mine Friday.
Yeah.
And he's like, Vic, trans people don't even drink my
They don't drink it. Hell no. They drink seltzers.
That's what he said.
They drink seltzers. Fine. Anheuser-Busch screwed themselves so damn bad. It's unbelievable. And Michael Jordan, who is a legacy brand, legacy means he understands the value of his face and his name, is not going to attach it to a company that is totally woke, totally rainbow, totally green, whatever. They have got the thing that Disney has to do is they have to reverse everything they've done. They have got to get rid of those people. They got to get people in there that are completely neutral, that want to make the rides good, that want to make the broadcasting good. They need to go out and make an Avengers that has nothing to do with politically correct crap and just beat the crap out of their customers again. That's going to take about 5 years. They're about 5 years to a decade away from fixing that company. Otherwise, it's going to go the way of the dodo bird or the Texas Six Flags.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eric, Americans are very fickle. We might be upset about something today, but I'll tell you what, in a month from now, everyone or a lot of people will have forgotten. There will be diehards.
Forgotten what?
Who will say that they will never.
Anheuser-Busch?
Yeah,
You're wrong.
Will be diehards who will say they will never buy another Anheuser-Busch
because
product.
what are they going to fall back on?
But then there's other people who will just be like, well, I don't like what they did, but I'm going to keep.
No, because Anheuser-Busch is always going to make money. It's the margins of money that they used
just
to
like
make.
Hershey bars. People are going to go back to buying Hershey products. I mean, we are very fickle. We move from one thing to the next to the next.
No, because
I wish we would hold our ground.
No, because in marketing and the thing about a company, and if you know anything about branding, it's about protecting the brand because the brand is what sells your product. And if your brand is known as something that people don't want anymore, like the Yugo, then people won't buy it. They'll find something else that they like much, much better. And so it's up to the beer companies right now to figure it out and say, no, we're as American as those guys used to be.
Okay, so let's say you don't drink Bud Light because of that. Are you going to not drink Coors? What about Miller Lite? What about all of the other beers who have promoted the LGBTQ lifestyle? I mean,
I'm going back to moonshine.
I think you're underplaying it.
No, but it is interesting, Eric, because
I think you're underplaying it.
All of the beer companies have done this.
They have.
This one
Eric,
just happened to get more attention.
I agree. I'm not saying anything about that.
I was like, damn, even Corona went that way. I saw pictures of it over the weekend. I was like,
okay,
oh my God.
Well, the only way it works is if they all do it.
The only thing that was frustrating, I could care less if beer companies promote LGBTQ. I could care less. But what got me about the whole Budweiser deal was that they had a trans person as their spokesperson right just at the end of, what was it called? Women's Month or something like that?
Women's National Month.
Women's National Month. And they did that on purpose. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't even care. I mean, they have the right as a private company to do what they want. And I have the right as a consumer to react in the way I want.
You're in this
and do I want their products or do I not?
Transition right now, Lizzie. You're in this weird transition where America used to be, missing man formation flyovers and military and Clydesdales and hot chicks laying on a boat with a Budweiser with a Budweiser bathing suit on.
Baseball and apple pie.
Yeah, and then guys, drinking Bud out in the field. And there's this transition going on now where the companies are like, screw you, America. Or whatever was America broadcast, advertising to this group of people. And now the people who used to love the brand because of the images that they would absorb on Super Bowl Sunday and blah, 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 they can't figure that out. Kid Rock is like, you're not just messing with the crappiest beer ever created. You're now messing with American image.
And it gets, and that's what Jordan, for a different reason with Disney, because Disney went woke. And that's why Jordan didn't want to
exactly.
be a part of it. And then the whole situation with Bud Light,
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. It was interesting. We finally heard back from them. Their marketer, Bud Light's VP of marketing, responds. Bud Light's VP of marketing is a woman. And she said, well, I wanted to change we wanted to change Bud Light's marketing from being a fratty type of deal and out of touch to something that's inclusive and in touch.
She's a
To
white
represent
liberal, for
how many?
sure.
They're not selling Dubonnet.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
How many trans people drink Bud Light? I
What
would
the
really
hell?
like to know.
Apparently nobody's drinking because if you go to the store now and you look at it, it's not moving off the shelf.
It
So
doesn't
the
matter.
transgenders
It won't
aren't buying
hurt
it
St.
either.
Louis at all because it's not even a St. Louis company anymore.
Correct.
At this moment, it's
Well,
just
it
a
still
museum.
employs a lot of people.
It's a
in the St. Louis
museum at this
area.
point with a bunch of old Clydesdales that are basically going to have to be put down in the next 5 years. So it's not that big of a deal.
It's about a
to St.
company
Louis.
knowing their base. She
Yeah.
clearly does not know their base. And then the other issue is that so many of these woke corporations, they act like the trans people are the majority when they are such a teeny tiny little minority. Who in the world, most of the people who are in this new trans wokeness aren't even 18 years old. They're not even old enough to drink.
There are some companies that can get away with the LGBTQ, like Apple. I think Apple can be as LGBTQ as they want, and people will it won't miss a beat.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you literally have no choice.
If
You deal or you don't.
If NASCAR became a LGBTQ thing, I think a lot of people would get pissed off. So there's different levels of, I mean, you just got to be a smart marketing manager to these companies.
You know what?
But it seems like everyone is on the train. So
GS3 from Michigan
whatever.
is listening. George Stigger III, who joined us before. Remember, he joined us from Mar-a-Lago.
From the Lincoln dinner.
Yeah, from the Lincoln dinner. And he joined us he's listening. And he said, Vic, trust me, the Alphabet Mafia doesn't drink beer.
no, of course
Exactly.
they don't. No.
No.
They just wanted to get on board with maybe you agree with this or not. The train was leaving the station for LGBTQ, and everybody, it's like, you're either on now or you're not. Better jump. And everybody jumped.
All
Everybody.
these woke companies are making, and it's more than just that, but they're also funding. It's more than just them putting her face on a can. But by the way, that same woman, received several deals as a spokesperson from Nike, from all of these different companies after this.
Sports bras with Nike.
That is so insulting
Hey,
to women.
By
and
the way,
several other big companies.
here's what Alyssa Heinerschneid, Alyssa Heinerschneid, she is the person responsible for that can. Since we got into that, she said, quote, I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we don't attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So she felt like she was going to generate young drinkers by going trans.
The people who are never going to drink.
How long
Bud Light.
will she have a job?
Not
She'll
long.
be gone.
Not long.
They're
Not
gonna
long
fire
at all.
her
She's
soon.
gone. She's good. I don't know what the
That's
stock
the
is
worst
trading at.
response that you could have had.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
first of all, the stock will take the first thing you'll look at is the stock. Second thing you'll look at is the product sales. You have to equate those two together over, I guess, the next 6 months to see how she's actually done on this campaign.
And what's wrong with being a frat beer? Because I'll tell you what, those frats, they drink a lot of beer.
It's not about frat beer.
A lot of beer.
It's not about frat beer. It's about sports beer. That is the beer of all stadiums.
Good comment. I agree.
That is the beer of all stadiums across
the stadiums
the world,
will,
maybe.
The stadiums will continue to buy it as long as people buy it at the games.
Well,
now, when you quit buying it at the games, the stadiums will quit carrying
correct.
it.
Or whenever the fan base is basically saying screw Bud Light on their shirts and their whatever. Then,
Well, stadiums have contracts with beer companies that are not so
but they
easy
can
to
serve
But once
anything.
again,
They can
but
serve
Eric
anything.
and guys and crew,
They
here's
can't
the whole
serve
thing.
anything.
You don't have to go purchase their product.
You do not. That's
it.
how we.
You don't have to do it.
That's exactly right.
Nobody's
Doug.
forcing you to buy it. On the other hand, with Apple, you may be stuck. That's
Yeah,
kind of
Apple,
what
you're
we're
stuck.
talking about. But you don't have to go get Bud Light. You don't have to buy Budweiser. You don't have to support them. Send the message strong and clear that you're not going to support Anheuser-Busch Stadium anymore.
Anheuser-Busch. Vic.
I heard that over the weekend, and Aaron just brought it up too. As I was saying, I was literally saying that.
You guys jinxed each other.
And Aaron, we're on the same page, dude. Anheuser beer.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm actually having fun with all this stuff because I'm old enough to where I'm almost
the Bush
dead.
family is rolling in their grave.
Yeah.
They are.
Like,
Could you imagine?
all the trans stuff before, stuff like the Transosaurus Rex.
But last week,
I love that one. That
but
was
you
the
agree
best
with
one.
it. Last week you said you had
I totally agree. Totally agree.
problem with them
No.
having him
But
as
I
a
have no
spokesperson.
problem with Kid Rock blowing stuff up either.
And
So
you
there
think,
you go.
All right,
you
so
think they made the right
from a
decision.
reliable source, we just found out that the marketing team for our Bud Light was all females that did this campaign.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they actually had the cans made outside of their original source that usually cans all the beer for Bud Light.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They used an outside source so nobody in the company would know what was going to happen.
Mm.
Oh, that's
busted.
Well, that marketing
That's a really
woman
big
who
deal.
I just showed, the woman who I just told you about, who's in charge, and she explained why she did it. If she has a job, we're going to find out.
She's gone.
We're going to find out very clear if Anheuser-Busch, if they fire her,
and the whole
then
team.
you can be supportive of Anheuser-Busch. Or in this, if they don't fire her, Anheuser-Busch is clearly telling you, oh yeah, we support her even if we didn't know about it.
Right.
We still support her.
Yeah.
I believe that had
Anheuser-Busch,
already
balls
happened,
in
right?
balls in your court, Anheuser-Busch.
I believe the marketing was already fired. Wasn't there something that
No,
said
I
to you
don't
guys
know.
the other day? And there
No,
was like
she
a-
just responded yesterday.
Okay.
Scotty Gherkin breaking
She
stuff
is-
like nobody else.
she
I love
is-
it.
she
Hey,
is-
I'm just the funnel here.
You're
I'm
like
just-
Fox News.
No, she is. She was very defiant, and this is what we're doing. We're going to get young drinkers.
Yeah, let's see what the board of directors thinks of that.
Okay, well, we're going to find out
That's
if
the
she.
dumbest thing I've ever
The
heard.
next marketing director needs to wrap an F-15 Eagle in Bud Light.
Peter George
fly it
says
over a
she would have
stadium.
had to have had approval to get away with going to an alternative site.
Not if,
That's a
not if
lot
what
of
he just
money.
said.
A lot of money at stake there.
Well, there's a lot of money to produce
Yeah, but
that many
what's the-
cans.
But but Scotty's just being a funnel. We got to know what the source is, and who cares? I mean, if you
I'm
want to
sure it
support
happens.
Anheuser-Busch, support it. If you don't. But you're going to know if Anheuser-Busch is in agreement with you. If they fire her, great. If they don't, then they support this can or whatever the hell's going on with Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one because in 20 years it's going to be worth some money.
What, to shoot again?
It is.
No, not to shoot it.
It's going to be worth some money.
It's gonna be
I
worth
doubt
some
it.
cash.
It'll be
Yes.
like Furbies. It
Yeah.
won't be worth anything.
If you have a 6-pack of trans,
It'll be like that buffalo nickel that's missing the horn.
yes, yes,
It's just missing a
yes, yes. I'm telling you guys, I'm serious.
pin. Or it does actually.
Yeah.
It's a misprint.
It was like if you have a McGuire putting the number 72 out of the ballpark, even though it's an asterisk 72, it's worth some money right now. Right?
I guess.
I'm telling you, it is.
I guess it is. I guess it is. Anyway.
I want one. Give me a trans beer cup. Whatever.
You mean the Transheiser?
Yes, I want the Transheiser. I couldn't remember how you
Transheiser
said
beer.
it.
Eric's probably already
I want
bought
one.
some.
I
A
want one.
Transheiser beer stein.
Yes, I want one right now.
Eric, he's got one. Give me one.
And then I'll go to Pawn Stars in about 20 years and pawn that thing off. It'll be amazing.
But see, that's all, though, it just in this room shows the different mentality and not in a derogatory way.
No, I
Eric.
take your
And
derogatory.
no, it's not derogatory at all. It just goes to show how Americans have different opinions. You're fine with what they did. I
Their
am
company. I don't own the damn thing.
I am
even
very
though
much
it's public.
against what they did.
And here's the thing. I don't care, but guess what? If you want to do it, you're allowed. It's a free country. But you know what? I'm not
I'll tell you
buying Anheuser-Busch products.
If it was Emo's Pizza,
and I've already passed on them twice because of it.
if Emo's Pizza was putting transgendered stuff on their boxes, I'd still buy that pizza because I love it.
Oh,
Period. Discussion over. I'd be like, that's some damn good trans pizza right there.
As a woman, I do not
I don't even know what
support
that
it
means.
because women worked so hard for their rights back
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
So my grandma and everybody is rolling in their grave
Yeah.
that now they're chopping off breasts and this and that. And now men can be women. It's like, again, men are trying to take over. And I'm not talking all men.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said last week.
yeah.
That was exactly
How
my point,
does
was
Hillary
exactly that.
Clinton?
We
how
worked
does she
so hard.
square? How does she square a guy basically taking over the role? This guy who thinks he's a girl has made more money off of advertising than any other real chick has ever made at Anheuser-Busch.
And that's what's
I know.
happening.
That's crazy.
That's what's
It is
happening
crazy.
right now. Look at all the men winning and beating women in
Absolutely.
sports, beating women in beauty pageants. I know I said all of this last week, but still, it's so frustrating. Us being the only women
yes.
in the
Yes.
room, it is very frustrating for us. And that's why I don't support it. Because you know what?
Correct.
If you want to put a woman on your can, put a real woman on your can.
I agree. One that has
There's a lot of women who've had a lot of really great accomplishments who could be on that can.
Yeah,
not just a matter of
I know a
switching their
couple.
sex.
I know a couple bar owners. I'm going to ask them at the end of this week. I saw your
Yes.
comment, John. We might be talking about it, but I promise you, it's not a positive thing.
Yeah.
It's not just because you're talking about something doesn't mean it's positive.
I think that it's a positive.
It's ultimately the sales. And I can tell you this much, like I said, twice, I haven't purchased it. I don't care if they put the ad out, but also people shouldn't care if we rip it.
No, I here's the deal. This should be a positive for Anheuser-Busch, right?
What?
Let me break it down.
Okay.
It is good that Anheuser-Busch, that the American people and people around the world look at you as a staple in the United States of America. Is the society you guys are a staple in this country for the last 100 years, 150 years, whatever it is. We look at you as, when we wake up, there's air to breathe. When we wake up, we have to eat some food, get some coffee, and then there's Anheuser-Busch right there. You should be proud that when the flyover happens at the Super Bowl, we equate you, the military, and Anheuser-Busch in the same breath.
Not anymore.
Well, hold on. And then one day, some trans woke chick in your office building over there decided to go put a bunch of beer cans around a guy who thinks he's a girl and say, we're shifting gears. No, we thought it was important enough to go blow your stuff up because we feel like this product is ours as well. That's all I'm saying. So Anheuser-Busch should feel really fortunate that they've built a brand that powerful to be that visceral when you do something like this, that we're going to blow your crap up.
Yeah, but Eric, here's the problem. If you look at sales, beer sales, not just Bud Light, but all beer sales over the past 5 years, if not longer, have tanked. People started drinking other drinks, the spritzers, the liquor.
Okay.
Ask the bar owners, ask the distributors. Beer was tanking. Beer still is tanking, not just Bud Light. In my humble opinion, it was just a bad attempt.
That's why they all came out with those seltzers.
Let's go to, as Tabitha says, at the less than, let's go cater to the less than 1% when our product's already tanking. Duh, how this woman even has a job today is only because Bud Light is worried about getting canceled more if they fire her, because she is an absolute.
I can't put my finger on it because
that is
also
the dumbest marketing. Hey, we're losing product. We're losing beer sales.
Welcome
Let's go
to marketing
the
a product.
1%.
Yeah, this is, but welcome to marketing something. You guys should have just stayed the course. All right, you guys shouldn't have done crap.
Whatever.
Stayed the course. Put your product in beer. It cycles. Everything cycles. There's no more Zima because it was a failed product. Remember Zima?
But people
There's no more Bartles and James. That was a failed product.
But so few people drink
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch has gone just like a wrecking ball through all eras.
And it's home of the Cardinals. Oh,
right.
Anheuser-Busch Stadium.
If it weren't for stadiums, they wouldn't have as much beer sales as they even have.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You know
when
why?
you go to get a keg, it has Anheuser-Busch product.
Who buys kegs anymore?
A lot. Every event that you go to.
I'm not talking about events. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people. I already said
it's part of every sale.
I already said that if it weren't for big stadiums and those types of things, they wouldn't have as many sales as they have. But people see
Parties,
Bud Light as
bars,
being the Dollar Tree beer of all the beers.
Every time PRL goes on stage, we have a 14 buckets of Anheuser-Busch product on the stage. I know that. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. People still drink this piss water all the time. I'm sorry.
Well,
it just happens.
If you go to a lot of these different bars these days, especially more upscale bars, if you order a Bud Light,
nobody in this room goes to upscale bars.
Oh, we don't.
Well, you guys,
you're going to be looked at like seriously, like you want a Bud Light. People don't buy as much of that anymore. People are buying the microbrewery.
I'm not that bougie. Just give me a piss water and I'll be fine for the rest of the evening. That's the way I see it. You know
Bud
what I mean?
Light and those types of beers, they're almost just like watered down beer these days. People just are not buying them. There definitely has to be a decline.
Well, here's the reason why I drink beer. I don't know about you guys. I had a rum and Coke the other night, right? One. I had another one after that because I didn't want to drink beer.
Well, why weren't you
I couldn't walk out of the place. I couldn't because I'm such a damn. I'm a lightweight. But if I drink beer, you can kind of just suck on that all night long, and that's kind of the beauty of beer for a lot of people. Trust me. There's still a lot of Hoosiers in this country that like to drink frickin' beer, Tabitha. Not everybody goes to Napoli or to Milton's Steakhouse.
I am definitely not saying
Morton's,
beer
sorry.
drinkers are Hoosiers. I'm saying that there are so many options these days.
Right.
Remember
Anyway.
back in the old days when I used to bartend, when someone came in, you got beer or you got a shot. And back then, that's how old I am. Back then, these shots was like whiskey or schnapps. That's all there was: beer, whiskey, or schnapps. Now you have so many different options that beer is at the bottom of the list.
Okay,
Well,
I'll take your word for it.
Well, we were talking from beer. How about this for a transition? In the state of Missouri, our home state, Missouri marijuana sales, get this, surged more than 22% last month in March. And here's the deal. Missouri is now on pace to achieve $1 billion. $1 billion in annual sales, which would set the record in our country.
Scotty, go.
And we're on pace right now.
You know, it was the biggest cash crop in Missouri for a long time until
it just wasn't reported.
Well, until
show me the money.
Until all this stuff was taken over, and they're like, "Oh, we got to take this off because it's going to help." We can't control this.
Yeah.
People can grow it themselves.
Yeah.
We need to make it to force people to buy medicine.
I'm in, dude. I'm all in.
I mean,
I'm all in.
Think
It's
about that.
enough. You cannot hold this thing back anymore.
$1 billion in annual sales.
I'll take 1% of that.
My son asked me this weekend if I would go into one with him. And I said, sure, why not? And my 14-year-old goes, Mother, I never thought in a million years you'd have anything to do with one of those. And I said,
You went into a dispensary?
No, I did not.
That'd be awesome.
My son asked me if I would go into business with him to open a dispensary.
Okay.
And I told him, sure, why not? And my 14-year-old,
if it's legal, it's legal.
Yeah, I said it's legal now, hon. I'm not saying I will or I won't do it, but it's legal. So that's a great way to make money.
Lizzie the bud tender. I can already see it.
I would Lizzie the bud tender. She's got a great last name for a brand. Sparks.
I think you have to be.
Get your gummies from Sparks.
Well, the market's oversaturated right now. Anyone that jumps in now, I think they're going to have a much harder time.
No way.
Scotty says
the demand is so much.
It's such a fast consumable, right?
Well,
it's such a fast
to be honest with you, most people aren't even educated on what it can do because there's still like a stigma against using it.
Yeah.
And they can get rid of so many pills by just
Wait a minute. What? There's still a stigma against.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
I hear if there is, I'm hearing more and more open talk about it, Scotty.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
But there's still so much education on what actually each of it, the cannabinoids do and how to mix certain things with THC and CBD and CBG and CBN and
we're going to be
CBG
doing
and
that on
THCA
this show,
and all
by
that.
the way.
But there's a store on almost every corner right now, everywhere you
No,
look.
there
I
is
haven't
in
seen
Lake St.
one.
Louis.
I haven't seen
Oh
one.
my God, they're everywhere.
No,
Where?
there
What?
is
They're
none.
everywhere. They just built one in Lake St. Louis. Everywhere I look, there's one. I'm coming across them.
No,
all
that's
over
because the demand is
there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh no, I know there
and
is
there's
a big
shortages
demand.
now on certain products just because they were not prepared for.
But look what's
the
happening
recreational.
in California, where they've had it so much longer than us. The people I know who live there, who started at the business, who had at one time 40, 50 stores, are down to like 10 stores. It's like they're oversaturated, and they finally reached that point in California. I know we're not here, maybe in Missouri.
Mean you're talking from a business standpoint?
I'm talking about from a business standpoint. That's correct.
I think if you're in the,
I'm not talking about the user. The usage is going up. I'm talking about business.
Yeah, clearly, if Missouri is on pace to set the national record for $1 billion of sales,
and there's no more licenses. There's no more big dispensary licenses coming out. So what's out is out.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think
they're all just starting to open finally.
This is exactly how Henry Ford must have felt when they were going from horses to motor-driven cars. And people were like, I'm not getting rid of my horse because that is a thing of the devil over there, that car. And that's kind of where we're at now. Society is in that weird gradient of pot to be, it's hard to wrap your mind around something that was told that was so bad for so long. And now it's like, come on over. I think 10 years from now,
yeah, I think you're right.
It's over.
And we're putting together some advertisers right now from a marijuana standpoint for this show. And we're going to have people explaining all of the things that are going on.
Yeah.
There are people who are experts. Scotty's an expert. I guarantee Scotty would even tell you in some senses, I'm still learning about this. I know a lot, but I'm still learning.
Daily.
So we're going to do that. We're going to be an educator. I mean, if it's going to be this sort of an industry across the country, specifically for Missouri,
it's a big industry.
We're going to explain it so people can understand what's going on? Why are you doing this? What can you do with it?
Have you been in a dispensary?
Oh yeah, several.
They're very interesting.
As I
Go to
looked around-
Colorado. It's the
as
first
I've
thing you
looked
go
at-
into.
As I've been looking at marketing and and picking the right partners, I've been to 3 different dispensaries.
I've been in one with
I've
one of
talked
the
to
owners.
budtenders, and I'm like, I feel
Dude,
like I'm
they
in a
sell it
trigonometry
in bars
I
now.
know.
And if you go to a bar in Colorado, it's like, where do you want to go first? You want to go get the pot, or you want to go to get a Starbucks? Which one? And it's that easy in Colorado. When you go to British Columbia, Vancouver, it is literally like ordering a salad. It is coming to St. Louis, probably through Cottleville, I would imagine. Cottleville has been putting up a big
What
fight.
are you talking about?
Cottleville, Missouri has been putting up the biggest fight to make marijuana legal in this that I can ever
There's like a
remember.
dispensary in walking distance from here.
Marijuana's already legal.
No. I'm just saying that to make it really grow, watch Cottleville. I'll bet that's where they put the most.
It's
there are
everywhere
massive
already.
sales in St. Louis City. There's massive sales in St. Peter's.
See, I haven't seen it. I haven't.
Oh yeah.
Where? Can you say? I mean, is it illegal?
It's
to-
everywhere.
Fallon, how
I
do
don't
you
want to
not
see it.
read?
Tabitha,
On
just
one
because you
street.
say it's everywhere
Go
doesn't
into
mean
it.
I know where that everywhere is.
There's one right down the street here in Chesterfield.
You go to any
Parkway.
you go to any of
And you
these
can buy a
stores.
joint. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you can buy flour and you can buy the gummies. You can buy
I
the
haven't seen it.
liquids.
It
You
still
can
isn't
buy-
that prevalent yet. I haven't seen it, and I think I would.
Well, you're not hanging out in dispensaries.
Oh, Fallon
Look at the
has
evil
them.
look that
From the
Tabitha just
comment
gave
line, they're
me.
talking about mushrooms
I've
coming
never
next.
seen anything that evil in my
mushrooms
life.
is the next thing.
Mushrooms
There's
is
no question
next.
about it.
Holy
They're
crap.
already farming mushrooms, getting ready.
Microdosing for PTSD and anxiety and depression.
Okay,
And then-
that's a prescribed thing, though, right?
Yeah, but you know what? It's
Well,
other
no, I
things
mean, it
are
would be the
coming
same
next.
as medical marijuana.
psilocybin.
Yeah, in small doses.
Holy crap!
Type in dispensaries, Missouri, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and boom, you're going to find them all.
I
I'm
think
laughing at
O'Fallon
Eric.
has 10.
So wait a minute.
Oh yeah,
Stop.
I'm laughing at Eric because he doesn't get
Yeah.
out much, and he's like, I
I
don't
don't.
see them anywhere.
All right, stop.
I'm like, gee, because
Hold
you
on.
don't leave your house.
Hold on,
until,
I
like,
got to
for
ask you a
band
question. I have to
practice.
ask a question. If I wanted a nice joint, do they call them joints anymore? Is that
I don't know what they
a
call
nice
I have no
marijuana cigarette? Where would I go for the
Bryan
weekend?
Road.
So I could just walk into a place in Bryan Road and say,
Yep.
"Hey, what's up? I'm Eric Johnson."
Yep.
For
gonna
our
go-
national listeners, Eric's talking about in the St. Louis.
Yes, in the St. Louis area.
It's in every community, Eric. Every
So
community.
you're telling me there's a place I can go open the door.
Mhm.
I don't have to give them a medical card or something. I just say, I need a nice joint for the evening.
Just go on Bryan Road. There's
I'll
3.
give a bong. Do
Yeah.
they still sell bongs?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I
Is,
don't
is a
know.
bong a thing anymore?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Bong. And
I
pipes
didn't see
and-
any bongs in the dispensaries.
They
out
don't.
there.
They don't usually sell like the glass in there. You got
But
to go
it's
to
really
like
nice. Here's the thing: when you walk into a dispensary, for those who haven't been in there, it's almost as if you're going to shop for jewelry. You walk in, there's glass cases, and oh yeah, I see this product, and this is one that we manufacture ourselves. This is one that we bring in. This somebody else makes this product.
Yes.
And then they've got products on the walls, and you've got, well, yes, could I interest you in one of these gummies? This is an indica brand, or I'm going to give you a here. Now this is our sativa. It's very, very energetic, and you got somebody.
Really?
and it's like
Yes,
it's like they're
Eric.
talking about a wine list.
I don't mean to sound coy
They're talking about
or
notes of fruits
stupid,
and nuts.
but my God, I didn't know. Okay, cool.
Well, just think about
All
this.
right.
Someday it's going to be cocaine and
Yeah,
fentanyl.
here comes Tabitha.
And
now it's not
heroin.
the party.
It's going to be all of these things. And no, I am 100% serious.
No,
At some point
no.
in time, yes, it will.
That is
In
so
British
detrimental
Columbia-
to somebody. It's unbelievable.
In British Columbia, Canada, right now, they are already trying it.
They are
It's the
trying
largest
it.
province
Hmm.
in all of Canada. They're already trying it. Fentanyl, meth, crack, cocaine,
Leave
all
it
of
to
these
Tabitha
different
to
things.
go over the
Tabitha
top.
is rocking. She's got her tickets already.
All of these drugs are legalized in small amounts in British Columbia,
Yeah.
Canada,
Yeah.
That's a
because
key.
and it's
small
a
amounts.
pilot program. It's in small amounts. But how much? I mean, fentanyl, is that okay in a small amount?
They did this since Tabitha brought it up because they had so many death overdose.
Guys, listen.
So this is their approach at trying.
It doesn't work.
And if
There's
it works, it'll be
200
It
here.
doesn't. Tabitha,
licensed operational dispensaries in Missouri.
two?
How many?
200
200. Okay.
If the
in the entire
government,
state.
To me, see, now you say that as if it's not a lot. To me, it sounds like it's a lot.
I think it's a lot.
Oh yeah,
but
that's a
who
lot.
cares if it's a lot? I mean, it's meeting the need, I guess.
I mean, how many Starbucks are there in Missouri? There can't be more than
One on
200.
every corner.
When
For
I lived,
you, Eric, there's not enough, right?
Seattle, Washington was the great laboratory back in 1999 to 2000, and you can look this up, where they actually had what was it called? hypodermic needle safe places, and they were usually in like little strip mall kind of thing, and they would have one of the strip mall things would be a place where you go and do your hypodermic needle.
They have it here in St. Louis, right
and then
downtown.
what they did is they, in their infinite wisdom, they went and took one of the piers down there, and they brought in barges where they were going to build this free housing for the homeless people. Seattle is dilapidated as hell. It is, you can't move down there. It is woke. It is socialized.
That's an interesting
And people are moving out left and right. People don't understand this. When you do this garbage, you have a bunch of Fortune 500s that are going to want to have a nice city to do their business in. Once that's gone, they're going to look elsewhere. And Seattle will become East St. Louis just as like anyone else will. So these weird social experiments are going to fail.
All right, well, we'll watch British Columbia, Canada, and find out.
Donna from the comment line a little bit ago said, by the way, everybody thinks the marijuana deal is so good. She said it hasn't helped Colorado one bit.
Really?
Yeah, Colorado is not the state that it used to be.
Just
There's
trying to
a
get
lot
full
more
circle
crime.
story.
Yeah, but why is that? Is that because of the pot?
I don't know. I think people are saying it's because they're walking around and you can get pot very easy. Like we were in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We were there 5 years ago and you couldn't smell it. And my daughter, who's 14, said Chicago is the place of masks and marijuana because you could smell it everywhere you went. So I don't know if that's the problem.
Mask, marijuana, and murders.
Yeah, the three.
I'll tell you what, Napoli was full of the marijuana pungency.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is. It's everywhere.
I was like, damn, why? I mean, would you? I'm 10
Just
years
put
ago.
it this way. I know
2
the
years
smell
ago,
very
yeah.
distinctly.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Though, Napoli is an upscale place.
But, Eric, even before it was legal, it was everywhere because I work in security. When I'm working, sometimes I'm talking to or moving around hundreds of people. And I'll tell you what, I smell it all the time, all the time. And I have for 10 years now, at least.
Yeah.
And
It's
you'll
very
smell it
common.
more in states where it's legal.
And even more so
And-
now that it's legal.
And it makes sense. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We'll come back. We can talk about this. We got some national news to get into as well. BRICS continues to make national news. They're shot callers. They're calling shots right now. Did you know that BRICS now has a higher GDP than G7? Yeah, we in trouble. We'll get into that. Tabitha says there were some maps released, some strategic plans released, some information released over the weekend. She's going to tell you why you need to care. It concerned me when you started to explain it. That's for sure.
It's a really big deal.
I'm like, holy
and it's going to be a
crap.
big news story this week.
The China-Taiwan deal, the United States, that's getting bigger. We'll get into that. You can't miss this. The Dalai Lama. Looking like Joe Biden and sounding as bad as Joe Biden, if not worse. The Dalai Lama gets this pass all the time. Oh, the Dalai Lama is so great, so spiritual. Just wait till you get that video. We'll get into that as well. It's all coming up on Cancel This. We'll take a quick break. And by the way, if you didn't notice yet, the U.S. government has already begun implementing digital currency. Yeah.
Fed now.
Oh, here we go. Back with more cancelthisshow.com right after this. Scotty Gherkin, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust.
And now it's here, the unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. Of course, share, like, subscribe, check out all of our platforms. You can check out all of our original content as always on cancelthisshow.com. Moving on strong on the show. We appreciate everybody jumping in. Of course, for those who might be coming in new, or if you're going to promote us, we are a live 8 to 10 a.m. Central show, Monday through Friday, based out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. Strategic Air Services is where we broadcast live out of.
Yeah.
Incredible luxury hangar. Amazing in the Chesterfield area. We love it when you guys share the show. Scotty Gherkin's here, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tab the Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. We do news headlines, politics, society, and of course, cancel culture. If you guys have ideas for stories, interviews, anything from that standpoint, let us know. And of course, we'll get rocking and rolling with that. Okay. Coming up in the show, we were just talking about some of the things that we want to do. Before we get out of marijuana talk, did anybody want to add anything? Are we good? Anybody have anything?
I don't know enough about pot.
The only thing we need to add is that this is all about tax dollars to our government.
Yeah, agreed.
And if they think they can tax you on fentanyl, meth, or anything else, they will make it legal at some point.
Well, everybody.
Why,
Correct.
Why would we?
Well, that's why British
We're
Columbia.
going to tax fentanyl, and if
That is
Fentanyl.
why.
Don't look at British Columbia
That is why
as this
Canada's doing
major
it.
metropolitan area either.
Okay, well, that's their largest
Okay.
province in Canada is British Columbia, and they're doing it as
You know
a
what?
pilot program because they want to roll
Fine.
it out all
They've
the
been
way.
doing it for 50 years.
They want to roll it out all the way across
Go to a
Canada.
hookah lounge sometime and they put pot in every
And as
hookah
soon
pipe
as
up
Canada does it, then we'll do it here.
there. No, look at this. Let's
I've tried
start.
hookah.
I know, so did I. It's kind of creepy.
It was weird. Yeah. To me, it was weird.
It's kind of creepy, but
It's all about
look
the
at-
tax dollars.
But not bad.
here's the deal. Tabitha's right. When the casinos came into St. Louis, everybody was freaking out. It turned out to be kind of a nothing burger. You know, you go gamble a little bit, you lose your
Except for the
ass,
people
whatever.
committing suicide because
Well,
they're
yeah,
gambling
no,
addicts.
you're right. But
And
I'm
don't
talking.
let me forget, there's something that came down Friday that I need to add with casinos.
Oh, crap.
But
Here we
I'm
go.
going to talk about selfishness. Is
Yeah.
now the time?
Go ahead. Yeah, rock and roll.
You may have seen, okay, sports betting is legal in 36 states in the country. Sports betting, simple sports betting. Missouri is not one of those states.
Right.
Well, I did some research. We found out it got voted down after an 8-hour session last Thursday. On Friday, because we had a different type of show. So I'm talking to some of the people that were involved in this.
Okay.
Guess who is stopping sports betting from going on in the state of Missouri? Freaking casinos.
Well, of course they are.
What?
Yeah, I believe that.
Casinos want that. I'm telling you.
What?
I am told casinos are being so nasty right now. They want all the money. They don't want people to find another way to go on. Now, I don't know the specifics of what casinos put back, but if sports betting does become legal in the state of Missouri, there, just like other issues, there are tax money incentives that are put in there. Tax that specifically goes written in programs that can't go anywhere else. to programs all across the state of Missouri. And casinos are like, nope, not going to make it happen.
It's all bad. Sports betting is bad. Casinos are bad. But it's a way of the future. It's going to happen, and we should allow sports.
I thought
betting
you were a
in the state.
libertarian-ish kind of thing over there.
Me? I've never been libertarian.
You mean why is why
don't you let people do what they want to do?
The excessives of sports betting is bad. The excesses of drinking alcohol
it
is
leads
bad.
to addiction. That's why sports betting
leads
to addiction.
You're saying
yeah,
that
but let people live their life and die in their life the way they want to. I mean, seriously, right?
So it's okay to be a fentanyl addict, to live and die
as long as you don't come over here and punch me in the face
immediately.
Yeah, stop talking about.
And I don't even think it's there because Tabitha, under your guidelines, nobody should drink alcohol, nobody should do marijuana, nobody should bet because you're going to the excess.
Did you just hear me say I'm for sports?
Man, there's no
sports gambling in Missouri.
I said I'm
against all gambling.
I never had. I tell Lizzie said it's all bad.
Well, no. Okay, you can have a complicated,
don't listen to her.
Complicated thought. It's called critical thinking.
No, and you can't talk out of both sides.
No, yes, you can. That's called literally. That is the literal definition of critical thinking. And what I'm saying is that I am against gambling because
then don't go to the damn casino.
However, I also said
I'm against asparagus. I'm never going to eat it.
I also said I am in support of legalizing sports betting in Missouri.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
I am personally against it. Publicly for it.
Well, then you just won the debate because they're not going to have it. But here's the deal. When I was in Vegas, there was nothing more fun than going and throwing 10, 15, 20 bucks down on games, drinking a cocktail, watching the games during the day. I had a blast. I swear it was better than Keno. It was better than, the cards, whatever. So I think that if you're going to have a casino, have sports betting.
But yeah, here's the thing though.
And then have digital sports betting for that matter.
Tabitha, believe it or not, there are people who say spending money on movies can become excessive and you shouldn't support.
Oh my God, yes.
People can have an addiction in anything without moderation. But there are people who go to excesses with alcohol, excesses
It's not
with
your
drugs,
problem.
Everybody does
with
that.
gambling. People have their vice.
It's not your problem. Yeah. Why is it your problem?
I really like cupcakes.
Do you know it's worse than
not the vaccine cupcakes, but the real cupcakes. But I can't have cupcakes. I mean, that would be my vice. I love tacos and nachos.
Yeah, you are the funniest person I know.
I have to slow down on that kind of stuff.
I grew up where I had
like Jilly's
a great
cupcakes.
uncle.
I love Jilly's cupcakes.
Did you know that, Eric?
What's that?
What kind of cupcakes do you
That
like?
is the funniest thing. I mean, not the cupcakes, but the real cupcakes.
I could care less about alcohol, drugs, or gambling.
Well, then leave people alone. Let them do whatever the hell they want.
What kind of cupcakes do you want? I'm trying to get you some.
I don't want any sugar. If they're sugar-free cupcakes, I'm all for it.
Oh my God!
She wants to ban sugar now.
Tabitha, you're so difficult.
Does anyone here have an addictive personality?
I do not.
Don't all of us?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
In certain things.
That's why I smoke cigarettes. So I smoke cigarettes because
you smoke.
I do smoke. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean not to excess. I think I'd be okay in Tabitha's.
I would have never known you smoked. I've never seen you smoke.
At gigs and on.
I thought that's why you drink all the coffee,
but not during the day.
Not cigarettes.
Oh God, I forgot about coffee. Yeah, I'm addicted to coffee.
Yeah, like Diet Coke was really bad for me.
Yeah.
Like boom, I've been trying it, and here I am.
Everyone has their thing. Everyone. I like small kitchen appliances. That's probably my obsession.
This is crazy.
Kitchen gadget.
Everybody is a product of their device,
Sandals?
of their vices. That's it. That's
Sure.
it. Your vice,
but me buying kitchen appliances is not going to kill me, and it's not going to hurt anyone
unless you plug it in wrong.
Unless I spent every dollar.
Unless you put your hand in the
I just bought a
blender.
Ninja Creamy this weekend.
Keep your ears away from the microwave.
There's hoarders. They may be taking it.
Tabitha, just let people live their life.
I just thought it was BS at the casinos, from what I'm being told, and from what I saw, the casinos stopping sports betting.
That's true.
In the state,
I think that is hypocritical.
I mean, if you're going to legalize marijuana in the state of Missouri, you got to find a way to legalize sports betting. Yeah. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, I want to get high and bet some games.
And along with sports betting means that you would be able to go online and buy your Missouri state lottery tickets like you can in Illinois and other states. In Illinois and other states that allow sports betting, yes. In Missouri, you cannot. You actually have to go to a retailer to buy your lottery tickets.
I would play numbers every week, like one set of numbers every week if I could do it.
I probably
set
would.
it up.
I probably would too. You're right.
Yeah, I would for sure. Because sometimes I just don't get by the gas station in time or whatever. But your odds are better by doing that. Not that you're going to win, but Your odds are still better.
Yeah, they're not good. The house always wins. Everybody knows that. That's why they have the
the reason the casinos are nice.
Exactly. That's why the Pepper Mill hasn't closed in all these years.
I know,
out
it's
in
just
Reno.
crap. I hate when politics get involved. I just saw Drew said, you forget those casinos line those politicians' pockets.
Good.
Yeah, he's right. It did. But guess what? Continue to get the crap done. It's a bunch of BS. You look stupid, Missouri casino owners, when you do this crap. Come on.
Because like you said, Vic, they want all the money.
Casinos
they
should
want
be
all
there.
The money.
Sports betting should be there.
Casinos take advantage of people. A lot of elderly people, they spend their entire Social Security check.
That's not casinos taking advantage of them, though.
It kind of is.
Okay.
Aaron says
because
on the
there's no winning
but
at the casino.
That's like the gun detractors, Tabitha, saying, well, it's the gun manufacturer's
Well, they're wrong.
fault. Yeah, but you understand my argument.
I do. Absolutely.
Okay.
So.
Aaron's saying on the chat line, a lot of debauchery, but it goes back to when I had a great uncle that was a bookie, and then his brother-in-law
was he a great uncle or was he your great uncle?
He was my great uncle.
Okay.
I don't know that he was a great uncle, but he was a great uncle, if that makes any sense. But,
very nice.
But
he was a horrible great uncle.
And so my grandfather was his brother-in-law, and he was a St. Louis City policeman.
Yeah.
And he was like Honest Abe, except for about that. He would have to look the other way because it was illegal what my great uncle was doing.
Yeah.
So that was some debauchery, going to Aaron saying. In my own family, there was, the Italian mafia that did booking.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather, who was a police officer, and then he became a sergeant, he had to act like he didn't see it.
My grandpa was a bookie too.
Might have known each other. I bet they knew each other.
It bought me a lot of candy when I was a kid.
I never really understood
my uncle bought me nothing.
those morality laws. I never really understood those. I mean, if it's even prostitution, I know I brought that up out of nowhere, but it's like if a man and a woman have they want to get it on and they want to exchange monies because.
So
of it.
you support what Tashara was going to do in St. Louis City? Police are looking the other way. In Chicago.
Who was it that I feel like I align with?
What are you talking about?
I think I align with.
I don't
Bill.
even want to know.
No, who cares? I kind of feel like you have a certain amount of time on this planet, and you should be able to do whatever you want, even if it's wrong, and then you'll figure it out.
That's not very Christian-like.
Why do you say that?
Because
it's exceptionally Christian-like.
That's a very slippery slope to say you should be able to.
God is the one that gave you free will.
So what if I wanted to kill
He
someone
will forgive
today?
you for his sins.
Yes.
I mean, what if I wanted to go kill someone today?
We're not making this religious talk.
Hold on. Back up.
We had religious talk on Friday.
We're talking about something that you enjoy.
Today.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I didn't say anything. If you don't hurt someone else,
I'm with you, Eric.
How about if you don't hurt someone else?
Yeah, that's fair
statement.
I see what
I am completely with you on that.
I agree
People
with
should
you
have
too.
the freedom to do what they want.
But the problem is there's an indirect hurting when you do the deep dive in everything. And that's why I don't want to get into
So
that.
I have some breaking news.
Get your breaking news out.
Boy.
Here we go.
Elon Musk has just released a statement that said George Soros is no longer and has not been calling the shots for quite some time because he's 92 years old. He's not thinking quite straight. That his son has been calling all the shots for over a year now.
Yeah,
what is his son's name?
It does not say which son.
George
it just
Soros.
Says his son.
Yeah, really. The second.
Yeah.
Beelzebub.
There's also breaking news out of Louisville. There was an active police situation, multiple casualties. They're telling people to stay out of downtown Louisville, but that's all the updates we have on that right now. We're a live show too. We're a podcast, so we combo this. If you're getting this later in the day, obviously it was live on Monday morning around 9:14 Central Time. So those listening live, great. For those who getting us a little later, you may have heard of it or you may not have. So more news coming out of that. But when the Louisville mayor says that there's multiple casualties, police situations, stay out of Louisville, downtown Louisville.
Man, they're Tennessee, now Kentucky. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's another situation that's come out there. Scotty, if you could pull up that Dalai Lama video, that would be great. We've seen the videos of Joe Biden, and I'm sorry, he is the biggest creep that we have ever seen on television updates, press conferences when it comes to kids. I'm sure everybody has seen the videos with Joe Biden smelling kids, grabbing them by their necks, trying to kiss them, coming up from behind them, saying nasty, weird things over the years. We know that's why they call him Creepy Joe, because he plays it to a T. That's just Joe Biden. However, we're told that the majority of Americans wanted him to be president. With that being said, the Dalai Lama, you just don't hear about the Dalai Lama. He's not a politician or not in any of those things. Oh, spirituality, meditation, good vibes, somebody we should look to, Hollywood elite going to spend time with the Dalai Lama. Well, if you haven't seen this yet, check this out. This is the Dalai Lama with a little boy asking this little boy to suck his tongue.
Oh.
Here's the video of the Dalai Lama.
And suck my tongue.
That actually made me want to throw up.
Now, check this out one more time, Scott. You can play it again.
And suck my tongue.
Did you hear his laugh? It sounded diabolical, like he was Satan himself.
It did.
That was disgusting.
Okay, I'm going to let the theologian expert of the panel. What the hell was that? Why is the Dalai Lama doing that?
Once again, that's why I wanted this on the show, because you have to.
I mean, how do you comment? Just all you say is disgusting.
Well, he's apologized. Did you know that?
No.
The Dalai Lama apologized. It says His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world for the hurt his words may have caused. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He regrets the incident.
Yeah, that's
seriously.
When you're teasing kids, that's not the first thing.
That's not a tease. That's not a tease.
And
He's
this,
done it before.
Just put this person is put on a pedestal, unlike
Absolutely
any
is.
other quote religious, spiritual figures anywhere in the world. And if he does it that way, what else the hell is going on, or what else has happened?
There is nothing funny or teasing about that at all. Nothing whatsoever.
Well, I look at that. There's nothing playful. I agree.
And he plotted the little boy actually did touch his tongue, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, it actually did happen when the video stopped.
I mean, the little boy, but once he asked him, the little boy even
he looked confused, like
what the truck is wrong with you, dude?
And why isn't his parents running over there? I know it's His Holiness. I don't care who he is. I don't care if it's Pope, him, or whatever.
He's not holy to me. I would have slapped him
one of my 5 kids. I would have been right in there, and I would have ripped his face off.
No question about it.
And that says, I guarantee he's a pedophile.
100%.
When you
100%.
talk to experts, they all say in the pedophile field, they show signs, they exemplify actions. And I'm sorry, like a Joe Biden. If you follow Joe Biden, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm just telling you, you look at all the videos of Joe Biden with kids and smelling and kissing and everything else, and you tell me that there's not actions of it. Yeah. There are.
Parents are failing the kids these days.
Then you have the Dalai Lama focused on him doing that gets caught in a public setting. The dude knows he's on TV and he still does it.
Yeah, wow.
Because
he did it in
thinks
front of
he's
an
above
audience.
Reproach. That's why.
He did it in front of an audience.
I mean, it's different than asking a little kid. Hey, when I was a little kid, my grandpa would say, "Pull my finger." You know, it was like
funny,
a little silly, funny joke. But he would never in a million years would have said,
of course, your
"Suck my
grandfather
tongue."
Of course, your grandfather.
Oh, my grandpa was hilarious.
Tabitha.
Oh boy,
Castle.
She was absolutely hilarious. But I mean, but that was funny. This is not funny. This is disgusting and vile. And it's like it's pedophilic. It's disgusting.
I watched it 3-4 times. I was like, man, we can't start the show off on a Monday with that. That's got to be in our second hour of the podcast because it's so
Good
bad.
Choice.
There's no way to explain it. There isn't, Eric.
Could have done without that.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you played it.
Are you just trying to do this to build a bigger mosaic of what we're going through in this world right now?
Sure.
Yes.
I think you're
absolutely.
right.
No, Eric,
You
I
have to see it.
I didn't even think that deep, man. You're thinking way deeper than me.
It's just everything you do right now. Like the Liz, what's her name? The girl that just got beat up.
Riley Gaines.
Riley Gaines. She's
yes.
part of the mosaic now. The transgender, this, that, and the other is part of the mosaic. Now you have the Dalai Lama asking to have someone suck his tongue.
Yes.
I mean, and believe it or not, that's worse. That's even worse than Joe Biden because he's supposed to and been looked at as a spiritual leader. I mean, we know about Biden. We're not looking to him for any spiritual guidance whatsoever.
And that's how it often happens, isn't it?
But
with spiritual leaders.
Yes. And this
ministers,
Dalai Lama. But guess
preachers.
what? I'm just curious for our listeners and viewers. Is that something that should be on world news? Is that something that should be on local news?
It should be on world.
It should be everywhere.
Is that something that should be everywhere?
Everywhere. People need to know, like what
But
Eric
it's
was
not.
saying. There's a bigger picture here. We're like society is normalizing weird sexual bad behavior. Why? I don't exactly know. Two different points of view. It could be the whole degradation of our entire country, or the other part of it is, I kind of think this too. People like Joe Biden and all these other weirdos are into this, into sex trafficking. They're probably on Epstein's list, and they want to make it look normal. So when it all comes out, it's been normalized. That's what I think.
Or normalized as much as possible.
So
correct.
It's like there's only a couple of options. Either it's evil, and the fruit of evil that's been buried on this planet forever is now finally starting to bubble up to the to the top, where the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's are actually. It is true. The Illuminati's caught them, and they're evil. Dalai Lama is everything you're seeing is this evil. Kind of just horrible, not wholesome, right?
Well, they just don't
it's
care.
Either that,
like
or
so many other things, they don't care that we.
Or there's a part of liberalism that I just don't understand, which means that these liberals, all this
Scotty,
sex with kids stuff is okay.
Can we see it one more time? There's a reason.
I can't watch it. I'm gonna have to look away.
You can look away.
I have to.
There's a reason. Somebody asked a question about parents trying to pull this kid away, but the parents didn't. It didn't seem to me like parents were even close around.
And it could have been not in the United States too, right?
Yeah. No, that wasn't in the United States. No, that wasn't. There's no way that was in the United States. I just wanted to make sure that I could see that again. And what the hell from the backside, if that was, who knows where kids get taken, at what points in time and where they're going on, maybe going back and looking at trips and all kinds of things. Thank you, Scotty. I just wanted to look at that again. Okay, that's when he says, "Suck my tongue." Okay. No, it did. I don't see parents around there anywhere. Just a photographer.
And you know what? Sometimes when you give your kid up to Santa Claus, they will do weird things with them. You're like, that was a little odd, but come on, Johnny. Yeah, you'll get your toy. So you don't know exactly what the intent of the Dalai Lama was and what the cultural this, that, and the other was. I mean, where does he live?
I looked it up, and there was nothing cultural
There's nothing
about
cultural
it.
about it? Okay.
Nothing.
You just don't know.
I thought about that, and I looked it up.
What's good in St. Peter's might not be the same that's good in India and over in Taipei and all these other places. So
you've traveled the world?
I've never seen that one.
Anybody ask you to suck their... Well, never mind.
Well, Vic, you know what I'm saying?
Their tongues.
It's disgusting. It makes me sick. I don't even want to think about it. But the worst part of it is had this been a regular man asking this little boy to do this, the little boy wouldn't have done it, most likely, and the parents probably would have knocked this guy out.
A great point.
Because it was the Dalai Lama, the little boy actually did do it, and everyone just stood around and watched like, gee, what's going on here?
You got to look at this. This is a guy that is looked at by most people, especially in different parts of the world, as not just under a god, a messenger of the gods, a guy that understands all nature, that is basically a teacher. And this is the problem: is when you have a teacher.
Yeah, what's he teaching?
Right. He's always said weird things. He always kind of gave me the willies anyway. I can't put my finger on it, but he just says really out there weird stuff. So I've never been a fan of him. Never.
I mean, a lot of people aren't. If you're into Christianity, he does kind of go against the grain a little bit. But
it'll be excused. It'll be swept under the rug.
Absolutely,
Nobody
no
will
doubt
talk about it.
No doubt.
I like everything.
Which is what, but once again, which is why I asked if people thought that story should be out there, which is why we're always going to do it here. And we'll continue to do that. Even
we have to, because no one else will.
It's so weird though. It's once we started this show, how long ago was that? 2-3 years ago, something like that. You notice how many of these bizarre ass stories that we're getting, and it's not because we got more media available to us. No, we had the same media available to us back then. It's just when Trump left office, my God, the floodgates opened up.
Great analogy.
That's exactly
right. Amount of this garbage,
and it's still happening.
Yeah, it's like
the water is still coming.
It's like the flooded basement that you just cannot fix the dam or whatever. You can't
think what it'll be like in 8 years or 10 years if Trump does not win in 2024. Think how far down the line we will be.
If we ever had any doubt that the left people, I want to say this nicely because this will offend some people, but there's some really mentally ill people that are progressive lefts. It's disgusting.
You know,
sorry, but it is.
This is not, and I'm not trying to bring up Russia as being some great country or Putin being some great leader, but this stuff is not happening there. You're not seeing these stories come out of there. You know where you're seeing these stories come out of? From the United States and Europe and all of these other places.
Yes, you're exactly right.
But
and Kevin's giving me the evil eye.
And this is and it's a time to transition with that, Tabitha. As you take it away, you look at America not being what it once was. Talk about not being what it once was. Let's look at the G7 and the countries that make up the G7. For those of you who don't know, of course, that's the United States and the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, and Japan. Well, guess what? BRICS has now, the BRICS that came together, of course, that we talk about all the time, Brazil, Russia, India, China, now Saudi Arabia, and about 40 other countries that are now saying that they're not going to use the dollar anymore, joining BRICS. They now have a higher GDP than G7. And I promise you, and I think Tabitha will agree, nobody in their right mind would have ever thought that would happen. And here we are in 2020.
Well, it makes sense. China is the manufacturer of the world.
But now, it's because of India, though.
But
is
it's
what pushed them
because
over
of
the
India.
edge.
India jumped in.
India's got 1 billion people as well. And they built
it's all about what they call PPPs. It's the purchasing power parities. It is what has brought them up over the edge over the GDP. But we said this,
what is that again? I've never heard that.
It's this PPP, purchasing power parities. And that talks about how much you can purchase for your dollars or your yuan or your ruble or whatever that country's currency is. And India is leading the way. They have gone from 10% against the US dollar to 78%. And so it's been it's taken them 50 years to finally reach this point. But then now they have surpassed us with GDP, with spending power, basically is what that is. And they're going to continue to grow is what the experts are predicting. This is really bad for us. But we talked about this when probably the first week this show started. We talked about BRICS and we talked about how at some point they would have the higher GDP than the United States or Europe for that matter. And we talked about how the next step after that will be that they will control the majority of the world's population. And that is coming very soon with all of the countries who have applied to join BRICS. Now they have the GDP, soon they will have the population. I mean, and that puts us in a very strange predicament as always being the world superpower. We will no longer be the world superpower without ever fighting a war. And you know why that happened? Because Biden handed it to them.
On a silver platter.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sometimes you just got to be quiet.
That deserves a little bit of.
I was waiting.
It's very profound.
Sometimes you gotta.
It's not good to hear.
And we're not saying I'm not happy that this. I mean, I live here in the United States.
You sound gleeful.
I'm not.
Gleeful.
Absolutely not. I want our country to secede. If Biden were in charge, this would have never. I mean, if Trump were in charge, this would have never happened. He would never have allowed this to happen.
Okay.
But Eric. I'm sorry, but this is in the middle. And there's 3 topics that are going on. And this is in the middle. And I still think this has something to deal with the whole Trump stuff that came out. But last week, the United States came full forward again. They've begun to implement the digital currency system. It is taking place right now.
FedNow? Is that what it's called?
FedNow is the one that's getting all of the publicity right now. You'll see FedNow signs everywhere. We were talking about last week over the weekend, Tulsi Gabbard said, listen, people, it's here now. Even Tulsi's like, this isn't a boogeyman story anymore. The digital currency is here. The United States is now implementing it right under our eyes, meaning, as we remind you, every single purchase you make is now there for the government to see. How that will affect you, who knows? You could think of 100 ways, 100 different ways that could affect you in a negative way. Nothing positive, only
There's
negative.
nothing positive. Use your cash. Cash is king. Use your cash. And this is Vic, this is a true story.
No, but
just this weekend, my mother and I were driving. We've been looking at all these properties out of town. We were driving out of town to look at a house. She said, "Oh, pull over. I need to get something to drink." She's got a cold. We pulled over, went to a Hardee's, ordered her just a soda. That's all she wanted. And I tried to give them $5 in cash. They're like, oh, just take the soda. We don't need your money. They don't have money. These places do not have cash on hand.
You know what?
They do not have money.
I was at a gas station last Thursday night. I was getting a drink. The guy, and I tried to pay, and the guy gave.
They don't have any money.
He said, "Tonight, it's on me."
That's
He's like,
right.
"I see you in here," and
They don't want you to know they don't have money.
I was just thinking, "Hey, I'm a really good guy. I'm in here saying he didn't have cash.
They don't
mother
have cash.
trucker."
They don't have cash. And if
Eric, that story happened to me last Wednesday night.
it's happening everywhere. They don't have cash.
But it's not
Try
their
to
fault.
use cash and
Hold on.
see. It
Hold
is
on.
their fault.
Let me tell you something.
It is their fault.
I know you like the doom and gloom person over here, and that's cool.
How is this doom and gloom
I'm about
telling
to
you
tell
to,
you.
to use your cash
I
because cash is king?
Hold on. The Fed now thing is different, but people like myself, Vic, you, Lizzie, everybody that's listening to this show right now has had over the last 20 years the ability to get a debit card from their bank. Okay. That bank represented the cash that's in your account, which means that people like myself I have not thrown a dollar bill around probably in the last 20 years. I don't even remember what the dollar bill actually
That's because
looks
you're a
like.
libertarian.
No, it's because of convenience. There's people that literally they do not want to
So
count.
you're okay with losing your country over convenience?
I think we're conflating two things. I think that your debit card from your bank account.
It's convenient.
Let me tell you something. The homeless people, I'm going to tell you a weird story. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Have you ever seen this before? The homeless people now don't take money. They don't put things out. They don't beg for money. They have the Square app on their phone. I
haven't seen that.
I have seen it twice now.
And I drive past homeless people.
I've seen it twice.
I see plenty of homeless people taking money.
I've seen a homeless guy go, I'm sorry, man. I don't carry
If a
cash anymore.
homeless
That's all right.
person
That's all right, man.
They're screwed.
Huh?
They're screwed.
If
They
a
won't get any money.
If a homeless person has a Square,
Got
that
a
means they
Square
have to have a bank account and all of the other things tied to it.
Fantastic. You know
There's
what?
a whole process to go through to get a Square. It's not like you can just
Fantastic.
ask for one and they give it to you.
Tabitha, listen to me. I've got two people that it's happened to twice.
I agree. I
It was
understand
connected
that
to their
it's happened.
phone, whatever phone they were using, and they took a Square app saying, "Thank you, sir."
Which means they have a bank account.
Yeah.
Which means they're not truly homeless.
There's
they're
a lot of
scammers.
that
Well,
going
whatever.
on.
Those are
A lot
called
of
scammers.
How many people are scamming money
you're
on the
trying
side of
to
the
say
highway that
that-
make $50,000 a year doing it?
But your point is everything's going to digital, even the homeless people.
Yes.
We can't allow that to
Tabitha,
happen.
you are the
We can't allow it to
Tabitha,
happen.
Tabitha, you are the chick that used to live in St. Peter's when they were driving horses to work, and you were like saying the cars are something of the devil. The new kids today,
I'm sorry to tell
the
you,
new kids
Eric,
today are
but
like, this is nothing. But we don't use cash at all.
I wasn't
You're-
alive when people were driving horses around.
You're like me.
Nor
You're
would
old.
St.
You're old.
Peter's didn't even exist
You're like
back
me.
then.
You're old. You're
And-
you're jaded.
I'm not old.
You remember the days of cash and cassettes. That's me
And
too.
if I could just explain for 1 second without everybody talking over
You love
me,
ABBA. These
including
kids don't
Vic.
even know who ABBA is.
Who's talked over you?
I'm just teasing. I just like aggravating you.
No.
And so I'm
my
doing
God.
that for the
I
sound
understand your
effects.
point. I get
You
it.
don't even know my point. You
Yet
haven't
you're
allowed
saying
me to
BRICS
tell
is
my
horrible
point.
because there's been many.
You haven't allowed me to even say my point.
I haven't had a chance.
Every
to speak.
time
You've
I
had
try
a
to
lot
say
of
if I was
chance.
a
You've had
store,
a lot of chance.
if I
At
was
no
a,
point have
hold
I
on.
talked about.
If I was a
See
store,
what I mean?
if I was a
You've
store
been
in the
talking
middle
whole
of
time.
If I was a store in the middle of Ironville or wherever you're going, and I basically take debit
Ironville?
cards, if I take debit cards to pay for cash or for gas and for convenience store products, and nobody brings cash into my store, I'm not going to have any cash.
Now, can I explain my point?
You see
please,
what I mean?
For the love of God.
Go.
Thank you. We have to fight back, Eric. We cannot allow digital currency.
You've already made this point.
No, I've said this much.
We're
and then
using
people start
digital
talking.
currency now.
Never mind.
We're using
I will
it
go
now.
on Facebook
No,
and talk about
I
it
need
later.
to hear
And
it.
all of the listeners, if you want to know what I say, tune into my Facebook page later.
What?
And I will explain it there because I get to talk more there than I do here.
Why? Go ahead, finish it.
Okay,
he's gonna let you talk.
Put 10 minutes on the
I
clock
wanna
for
hear
Tab.
it.
Put
Go.
10 minutes on the clock for Tab.
I am saying that you can fight back. Stop telling me you can't fight back. Take cash to stores. And if you go to a store and they don't take your cash, don't shop there. There are plenty of places that will honor your cash. If we continue to use debit cards and credit cards because it's convenient, and it is convenient, we will lose what sovereignty, whatever the word is, we have.
Sovereignty.
Yes, thank you. Because they will know everything you do. They will track everything you buy. They will know every place you've been. And the minute you do something they don't like, they're going to turn off your bank accounts, turn off your credit, and you're going to be a prisoner of your government.
Yeah.
Can I get something in on this?
Yes.
Eric? I'll respond. Tabitha, I agree with you, but you also are the same person who recently said on this show, Vic, I know that it's the train's on the track with digital currency.
Yes.
I know that cash is going to go away.
That's right.
If we allow it. If we allow it.
But your point was, that you encourage people to use cash, but you already know the train's on the track.
The train is on the track,
Because
but
you
that
said-
doesn't mean we can't stop it. It doesn't mean we can't stop it.
Tabitha,
It's
it
just
would be.
a way
I
for
don't
them
know
to
if
take
you've-
more
I don't know
of
if you've
your
ever been
money.
skiing before.
Transaction
Have you ever been
fees,
skiing?
ATM fees. What?
Have you ever been skiing?
I do not ski. I have
You
been
not
skiing.
You've been not skiing?
I should say, okay, yes, I have been skiing. I'm just not
There's
good
this
at
thing
it.
called an avalanche. You're never going to stop the avalanche. So if they
People do stop avalanches.
So what they say when you're in an avalanche situation is to aim down the hill and go as fast as you can. You're never going to outrun it. You just need to make sure you're not in the way of getting run over by it, because that's what's happened right now. And the Gen Zers of this planet are not giving a damn about the old people. They already don't use currency. They don't
even know how to count currency.
They
That's
don't
what's
even.
scary.
There's
They
some.
have no idea how to
some-
count money.
There's some Gen Zers out there that don't know what to do with $100 bill.
Make them
Where do
learn.
I
Make
put
them
this?
learn.
Do I throw this? Do I like touch it to my phone to buy something on Amazon? How does this work? I don't even understand.
Make
how this
them
works.
learn. Give them $100 every time. Make them learn. That's how you do it. But we cannot allow ourselves to go to a cashless society.
Help me out.
We
Okay, but
can't
here's the
allow it.
problem. I'm going to tell you.
Help me
what
out,
We have to
Kevin.
fight
Okay.
till the end.
It sounds great what Tabitha's saying. and I
Kevin's trying
agree.
to talk.
But here, I'm going to tell you something before Kevin talks. I promise you 100%, just as the politicians are telling us, digital currency is coming.
It's here.
It's here. We can't stop it.
It was here in 1991.
And I would encourage people to, Tabitha, to use this cash as long as you can, as long as you can hold out. But digital currency is here. It's not going anywhere. It's being implemented at the highest levels of government right now. And we're stuck. We're just stuck. Technology has pushed us into this stage.
Yes.
And it sucks, but that's where we are.
That's right.
Digital currency scares the hell out of me, but it's here. Kevin?
Digital currency is not the issue. The centralized bank's the issue.
Well, digital,
Boom, right there.
but they're
Hello?
associated.
They are.
That's the
They are.
problem.
And I think we need both. But when you go to a centralized bank, we're now communist. They can tell us what we can buy, when we
Yes.
can buy it. They can cut it off. They can stop what's
That's
in
right.
your account. You have
Yes.
no control.
That's right.
Social credit scores.
But if we do get rid of cash, what's Eric going to do on the east side?
Well,
Eric,
I'll bring gold bars.
He's always got a stinger at the end. There's always a motive.
That was a great point, Kevin.
I haven't been to the east side in
but
literally
just so
5
people-
months.
Just so people understand, though, digital currency can't survive without the centralized bank. That's their one goes with the other. That's the problem.
That's right.
So when
Well,
you,
the central bank
when we
has been-
talk digital currency, central bank is associated with it.
But we have digital currency now.
Yes.
Using your debit card. And
Yes.
things.
But this is the central bank is what's supporting it on the national side. That's the problem.
It's so communist, though.
It is
Of course it
extremely
is.
communist.
But
That's what
they
happens.
want.
But look at China during COVID times. During COVID times in China, the reason why they knew people who were quarantined were out shopping is because they tracked all their debit card purchases. They would actually come to the store and arrest them while they were making purchases. That's how they knew they were there. I mean, once you start using a debit card, a credit card for everything, they know every move you make. They know every single thing you do. There's nothing you can hide anymore. There's
And
nothing you can hide. And they will know, they will tax you to the hilt. The IRS will be at your house looking for every dollar you've spent. As soon as you buy that gun, as soon as you buy those bullets, as soon as you do something or subscribe even to some channel online.
You know what I think is weird
they're
about
gonna
that?
come in for you.
Like the IRS is like, we live in a country where it's like, most countries are like, here's your taxes, this is what you owe. In this country, it's like, okay, time to do your taxes. What do you think you owe? Question mark.
And they're already going
and then
to
you
know.
have to go and prove to the government that that's what you owe in your taxes, where instead of just having a really simple system, it's like, dude, you made $100,000 last year, bounty up a check for $8,000, please, thanks, have a great day. Kind of like your car taxes that for your personal property. That's what screws this country up so bad. There are little things that you could fix that would make even a digital currency kind of okay.
It's just a surveillance. It's another surveillance.
Eric, and you're right
system,
about that. But if you think that Alexa's not surveilling you,
control.
if you think Google's not surveilling you, if you think the government's not surveilling you in their own little
these things can't take away your money. They can't say you are a patriot, you are a conservative. Guess what? We're cutting you off. Well, now you don't have any money.
It's all about the national side, Eric, and then it gets into our worldwide side, which is what we were just talking about with BRICS and BRICS being at play. And then, of course, being able to have some sort of strategy from a financial standpoint when BRICS now has the higher GDP than G7. And then it leads into, oh my God, what's going to happen when we go to as Tabitha says, she calls it a proxy war, China, Taiwan. I mean, every freaking day now we're having to, and it's been going on, but here we go again, over and over and over again.
I hear you guys.
Tabitha, talk about your concerns with China, Taiwan.
That's a really big deal. It was one of the biggest things that happened this weekend, but I have mixed thoughts on it because they have these skirmishes sort of often,
Oh no! It's coming to a head. This is Mount Vesuvius. This is not like
escalating for sure this weekend.
This is not just like a little cruiser going in the international waters.
Well,
these guys have plotted out through war games a animation to show how they're going to take out.
But this is all because
they published it
last week. McCarthy met with Tsai. I can't pronounce her name. The woman from Taiwan who came here to the United States, met with McCarthy. Obviously that riled China up because he is the Speaker of the House. China has always said the Speaker of the House should not be in Taiwan. They should not be meeting with Taiwan leaders. It happened. So China went out and they conducted these exercises. And some of those exercises
3 days of exercise.
That's correct. 3 days. And they had, multiple bombers, different things out there conducting. And it's normal for them to come out and conduct these exercises. That's not unusual. The unusual part is they had a standoff in the Taiwan Strait, and it was between 20 different carriers. And the United States was there. We were kind of off in the background. It was mainly Taiwan versus China in this standoff in the Taiwan Strait.
Well, here's why
this
sucks balls so bad to me is France basically came out and said, yeah, we don't want any part of that. Did you hear that? Macron just came out and said, well, this whole thing with Taiwan, this is between the United States and between China.
Yeah, but he just sold out.
So basically you
did the same in Ukraine.
So basically you have this, you have two teams. You have the BRICS team versus the American dollar team, apparently. And the euro respects the dollar and blah, blah, blah. And now you have one of the team members going, you know what? If you guys play this game, I'm not showing up. France. And now it's going to, and who's the next country to go?
Well, France is not
and who's the
allowed
next
to
country,
go to Ukraine now.
Who's the next country, Vic, that's going to basically say, you know what? If something happens over there in Taiwan, I'm out. I'm not.
But those countries.
Well, France is the first one.
They're already
Who's the
not
next
involved.
one? Is it going to be probably Germany?
But it doesn't matter.
And could it be England maybe next?
None of that
and
matters.
so it basically. Why does it not matter?
Because they've never backed Taiwan. Those countries have never backed Taiwan. It's always been us. We signed a treaty in 1979 to arm Taiwan. We've been supplying weapons to Taiwan all this time since 1979. Now, over the weekend, we just made an announcement that we are fine with sending, Biden has said in the past 4 times, we would send U.S. troops to Taiwan. And the government always backtracked and said, no, he misspoke. We shouldn't have said that. Now, all of a sudden, over the weekend, they're saying, no, we will support sending troops to Taiwan. And not only that, but we are also going to send them a new cache of weapons to Taiwan. We don't have any more weapons to send to anyone. We have sent all of our weapons to Ukraine. Now we're sending more weapons to Taiwan. Now we're talking about, we just sent 300 troops to Taiwan recently. That was just announced in February. And we had 30 to 40 there all these years. Now we have 300. I mean, in none of the other countries, Eric, have ever backed us in this. They have never wanted to get in the middle of this, and they never will. This will be strictly the United States, us against China. You better go out and buy your iPhones now because we're not going to have any soon. That'll be the first thing they take, our TVs and our iPhones.
Well, that would be a good thing in time. It would force us to make our own chips, and we're
alone.
We're alone
in this
right
battle
now.
with Taiwan.
We're alone, but I think what Eric was talking about, and just general support worldwide for something to happen. But once again, these two have been going back and forth, China and the United States, for many years. It seems like there's more talk of it, as Eric said. when China's showing video on their news to their. This is what's they're in whether you agree with China or not, and obviously we don't. China's in solidarity with their. I mean, there are people who hate it's a communist government, but they're showing their people how they're going to take over.
The first time they've ever done that was this weekend.
They put that on video, and I'm like, okay, here's the war games, and it's like, my God, and they're like, yeah we're all for it. We're not showing war games in the United States.
China has never done that before.
Did you see the video of those kids on the mat this weekend saying, "Let's go, Brandon"? Did you see that?
I've got that video.
Great.
You want to see it?
Well, it just gives you hope. See, every time I hear Tabitha Hassel,
Scotty, when you get a chance, pop that video up.
Whenever I hear Tabitha Hassel, I have no hope.
My friend
Period. No hope.
sent it in.
Which video?
It was the wrestling video.
This
Do you not
gives me
have
hope.
that? I thought I sent it to you.
The girls on the mat going, "Let's go, Brandon."
Oh, it was all girls?
Well, I thought it was a girl event of some sort.
No,
but
I don't have
it.
it.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Huh? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
That's the stuff that gives me hope. When you have a Donald Trump walking into an arena, be it it's in Florida during a UFC fight and the place is going nuts, that gives me hope. When you hear Tabitha Hassel, you want to slice your throat because it's literally.
You mean because I'm telling you the truth?
Your truth. Your truth.
No, it's not my truth. It is the actual truth. Somebody just messaged me just 2 seconds ago and they said, thank you for telling the truth. Because this is the truth.
I think,
you can go hide under a rock and not listen to the truth, but that's why people listen to the show because they want the truth. Eric.
I guess you're right, but it's like, what's the point of going on if that's what we're having? If you are acting as a prophet to what this is going to be, what's the point of even of trying to push back on it? There's no pushing back on it.
No,
first
yes,
and foremost,
yes,
because the American citizens have elected people to do the work of protecting us. What you're saying is the people we've elected are not interested in protecting us at all.
The people we've elected,
what you're saying.
Most of them are not.
Is
That's
what you're
true.
saying.
They're more interested in lining their pockets than they are protecting
and
us.
the amount of damage they've done in the last 24 months is overwhelming, no doubt about it.
No question.
But what you're saying is we have no choice, the chance of coming back from any of this.
That.
You never said that.
No, we have to take control of the elections.
The dollar
and we have
thing,
to
you're
get Trump in office. Trump will reverse all of this on day one. The minute he sits down at that desk, everything that the Democrats have done, he will turn over, and he will completely turn it over, and everything will change.
There's a lot of stuff
but
I
we
agree
have
with
to
you
get
on.
him in
I
there.
think that China would definitely have not a dicked around with Trump. No,
There's no way in a
They
million
didn't.
years.
No,
they
didn't.
wouldn't. I don't think that Russia would have
forced them
dicked
back
around
into
with
trade.
Trump.
No, he messed them up from a trade standpoint.
As a matter of fact, I think Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, would have been the first North Korean leader to go to the White House if Trump would have been there. So I totally agree with some of the stuff you're saying.
What I say, Eric, is the truth. And we can overcome it, but we have to take over elections. We have to start standing up. We can't be so complacent. And we have to get Trump or someone like Trump in office, and they will overturn all of this stuff on day one.
Well, Eric was trying to have hope, and here's Eric's sign of hope. This is from Independence, Missouri over the weekend. This was from a wrestling tournament, and kids starting this on their own.
Good parenting right there.
You feel better, Eric?
Yeah.
You have to look for the bright spots in this really dark little dungeon that we're living in.
That's in the show me state.
Yeah, you have to look at this stuff because Biden is about to put together an entire team of influencers on TikTok to do his marketing messaging for the next election. Did you know that? That's another scary thing.
It's another topic.
These kids that have multi-million viewers are now going to the White House, and you know what they're building? They're building a multimedia center so that they can actually be the correspondent news company.
It makes it state-run media.
Yes. And these kids that are like, we're influencers. Yeah, we're not going to sell you eye makeup right now. We're going to talk about how great Biden is.
I hate
it's disgusting.
I hate and despise that for any side of the political party, especially when it's being built by the White House, paid with your tax dollars.
Yes.
That's an issue. It's a massive problem. Now, this came out yesterday, and I'm assuming, Eric, the kids and the wrestlers started doing this because the night before is when Jorge Masvidal started the "Let's Go Brandon" chant at the UFC event.
That's exactly why that happened.
And we showed that video at the beginning of the show, and the standing ovation that Donald Trump got at the UFC event. All the, literally celebrities not being afraid of being canceled. Everybody standing, cheering, NFL players, you name it, for Donald Trump as he got the standing ovation walking into Kid Rock music. Then Jorge Masvidal, after he gets a chance to speak, he puts it on Trump, DeSantis, and starts a "Let's Go Brandon" chant, and adults start chanting it. Yeah. So I think that's where the kids at the wrestling game in Indianapolis started.
Has there ever been a country that has succeeded by being evil? By having these evil tendencies.
Well, communism has never succeeded anywhere. If that's what you mean.
Well, it didn't. In theory,
you
it
have
didn't
millions
succeed.
of people dead because of communism,
and that's what all this.
No, I'm just saying. Has there ever been a sustained country? It wasn't Rome; it fell. Was there ever a sustained country that was under management that was led under these weird, evil premises
in history
of screwing with kids? Of screwing with abortion laws, of screwing with transgender. I mean, I'm not
none of that.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
that's
has there
all
ever?
New. I mean, I'm not saying it never happened, but it's all new.
Has there ever been a country that said this is a great country and it's all these liberal policies? Can you think of one?
Well, I mean, the world has continued to change. I mean, this is all just evolving, in the past few years. So no, I mean, that's not even in history. But think about this: over history, all empires have fallen.
But you would think that the goodness of the United States being a free democratic society.
We're not a free democratic society. What world are you living in?
We're not.
That's Tabitha Hess, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your bartenders and waitresses.
Freedom is
put your tray tables
illusion.
up and prepare for impact.
Freedom isn't an
prepare for impact is probably well said.
I think that the sponsor for the show should be Prozac. I think if we could get a good Prozac sponsor,
I don't need any Prozac. You know what? Look at the comment lines. People want to know the truth. People listen to us for the truth. It might be depressing. People might not like it, but people come here because they want the truth. Yeah. And that's what we give them. They're not going to hear it on mainstream news. Mm-hmm. They're going to hear it from us here, and you, including from you, Eric. I mean, people come here because they want to know what's really going on in this world. And this is a show like this is the only place they're really going to hear that. If we didn't tell the truth, I wouldn't get up every day and come here. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about truth telling. And it can be depressing at times, but it can also be good at times because we know there is hope. We just have to get people out, have people stand up, stop being so lazy, get out and actually fight for your country. If we don't fight for our country, we are going to lose it.
Okay.
And by the way, did you see the update on the shooting that took place in Louisville?
Well, we've been talking about it. And the update is, we said earlier, 5 had died, but now somebody else is saying 6. They've got a press conference coming up.
It was at the Old National Bank in Louisville.
It's an Old National Bank building.
Correct. So we don't know if it was in the bank or in the building.
There's allegedly other businesses in there as well. So once again, who knows what happened? There's a press conference that's supposed to take place in about 45 minutes. I think it was 11:30. Let me see. Anyway, it's 11:30 Eastern time. So 10:30 in about, 37 minutes or so Central time for our live listeners, for our podcast listeners. When you get us outside of the show on video or audio, this will have already taken place, but it's still an active situation. So
you think Joe Biden, being a Catholic guy,
he's been neutralized though.
A Catholic.
Do you think Joe Biden sits back in his lazy chair at the end of the day and goes, "What am I doing?" No. Do you think that him having that blue collar Joe kind of thing, do you think he sits back and goes, "What in the hell am I doing?" Does he know enough?
Does he know?
No, he doesn't even know what's going on.
Do you not think so?
Eric, he can't even tie his shoes. No. Come on.
I think he was evil back in the day when he did know what he was doing.
Yes, he was.
He was evil. I mean, just carnal evil. But now he doesn't know what he's doing.
I always wonder that. It's like, do you think that the guy, and then who are the guys? And then like Easter Sunday when
where did Joe Biden come up out of?
I'm just thinking of all this stuff like that. I always have this kind of this mosaic in my mind of like what's going on, and I always try to think, where does Joe fit in this thing? And yesterday during Easter, I just could not see any of that Easter egg event. Like today they're doing the Easter egg roll, without that stupid bunny pulling him away from talking to reporters. I was like, what? That was the creepiest thing ever. And I just wondered, do you think that Biden just sits in his chair
Eric, this is the first president who has spoken less to the media. He doesn't do press conferences, or he doesn't because he doesn't know how. He's not capable. He's gone on more vacations. He spent more days on vacation than any president in the history of this country. Again, he assembled the worst staff that this country has ever seen. Another reason why this country is in peril, because it is the worst president and the worst administration we've ever had. And it has nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. It has to do with Biden. And the man, even Democrats will tell you how bad he is. They will.
Yeah.
You get, they'll be honest with you. They will tell you that that there's been no president worse than this guy, that our country, when you do the deep dive, has never been in a worse situation since we came about. It just hasn't. It's simple. It all adds up. So yes, Eric, I tell you, Biden is lost. He doesn't know any of this stuff since he's gone. And there's too many things that are going on for it to be by chance.
Yeah.
It's not dumb luck how the United States is falling and falling fast.
Well, I listened to Tabitha, and I know she sounds like you just want to rip your head off.
I don't think most people see it that way, Eric. Only you.
All right. Well, whatever. I think that the way that if you're going to fight back against what Tabitha says, you better go get yourself some Gen Zers immediately. You better go get some kids that can do some viral marketing immediately. And you better go into these purple states immediately and fix some of the problems that they didn't vote for you in the midterms, like the abortion law stuff. If, as a matter of fact, you might have to sacrifice the abortion stuff to go win back some of these areas.
And you've got to get the kids. You have to.
There are younger people on TikTok, Eric, Instagram. There are. I see them all the time. There's every bit as many. It's just, once again, national media doesn't give them a platform, which is why you do things like we're doing here, which is why we ask people to donate to canceltheshow.com, to have advertisers or talk to advertisers, to be a part of our show so that we continue to do what we're doing and make it bigger.
And we do our best to try to reach the young people. That is one of our missions, is to promote the show and try to reach younger people, to influence them and to try to get the truth out to them. I mean,
we have a decent amount of 18 to 35s listening from a national basis.
Absolutely. And we're always trying to get more, always.
I'm just saying, it's like the influencers better be there. That's what's coming.
Well, and
down
we
the
have
pike.
an intern joining us this summer.
And on top of that, they have the traditional media backing them for this next election cycle. So it's crazy how much PR the Democratic Party actually has at their disposal. It really is nuts.
Yeah, we talked about that last week with the media.
That's because they control the media.
And it's not going to change.
Yeah.
So
well, it better change. Otherwise, Tabitha's prognostications are going to come true.
It could be coming down the pipeline.
They are coming true. They're already coming true.
I'll tell you something about our education, which we need to look at tomorrow. It has to deal with something that happened in 1979. The United States, the last time, was number 1 in 1979 for education for kids. Something happened.
There's a stat. Damn.
Something happened in 1979, and we've been going downhill ever since. That'll be one of our topics tomorrow. It is canceltheshow.com. Scotty Gherkin here, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tab the Hassle. I'm Vic Faust. Guys, we appreciate you jumping in today. What a great Monday show we had. We'll have more tomorrow for canceltheshow.com. Have an awesome day.